What's going on, everybody? You got your boy Black Intellectual here. I was supposed to do this live like 3 days ago, April 15th, but stuff comes up all the time nowadays. Seems like I'm always moving. So, yeah, I'm here now. We about to talk about this content, this topic, the black men not going to college shit, and this, that, and the third. And I just don't get it. It's like, man, every week, maybe every week, it's like, let's find a way to be a part of the Bash Black Man Industrial Complex. It's like, damn, black men don't go to college. Bruh, we going. We just don't go as much as everybody else. And nothing wrong with that. Hispanic men go to college less than we do. It was like 22% of us have our degree or something like that. And it's a rising number. May not be the whole damn demographic, but it ain't the whole demographic of anyone that have degrees. But yet, black men are the ones that people want to talk about. I swear, this shit is goofy, man. Goofy as hell out here. But it doesn't matter. Like I got a lot of videos to cover here. But I want to start with this one woman because it just seems right to talk about this woman first because, you know, it's somebody we know and some of us like and some of us don't. I don't know if y'all know Life in the Ash Lane, but I like Life in the Ash Lane. And she basically points out why this became a problem. As she should, because it is a problem. But here we go. Let me go into the video.
Field you choose. Y'all told black men they gotta have money right now. So they're not thinking about 4, 5, 6 years down the road. They want to go make money now. And regardless of what some men will say, there are a lot of men out there in the world that do things to impress women. Women, y'all may not recognize the power that you have, but I am willing to bet my last dollar if we put more emphasis on being attracted to intelligence, being attracted to character, integrity, being attracted to commitment, determination, drive, I'm willing to bet they'll start going to college. I said what I said. Because if you stop and think about it, a lot of the things that we do is to impress the other sex. Now, I know y'all are going to say, I'm decentering men. I hear you. And men, I know you're going to say, I ain't worried about these. I get it. But we all want attention. A lot of us want to be validated. A lot of us want to be chose, be picked. And we will do the things to get us picked. So that might be why they're not going to college. Another idea is, a lot of black men are being raised by single black mothers and they ain't got the money to support their sons through college. So how am I going to get into college when my mama can barely afford to feed me and my siblings? I don't feel like that's even an option. I don't have a lot of role models in my neighborhood that are showing me that I should go to college because they didn't go to college. And then if I do have an uncle, a daddy, a granddaddy that is in my life, sometimes they hit me with, oh boy, just go get a job because real men work. So y'all help me to understand why they would choose college. And now y'all are ragging on trade schools, talking about trades that give you a job. Excuse me? As a hairstylist myself, I make way more money as a hairstylist than a lot of y'all college graduates. And from what I hear, y'all are struggling to find jobs with those college degrees. So let's not poop on trades, please. Okay, thank you.
Yep. That was Life in the Ash Lane. And yeah, she said it basically perfectly. See, when a woman says it, that's when you know it really stings. Because yeah, you told black men you got to have the money now by any means necessary. You got to have the money. You got to be able to buy my sneakers, my shoes, my nails, this, that, and the third. And a lot of brothers in high school hear that shit. And they say, well, damn, guess I got to go out and get the money somehow. So they end up working, or a lot of them go to the streets. Like, I'm not blaming black women, but I'm saying there's a correlation to this. You got to have the money ASAP. I remember I was a 15, maybe had a girl like 14. And she was like, the boys in class was like, yeah, you know, you should try getting with Marcus. He seemed cool. And I was like, no. Like, she cool and everything, but no. She just had like apathy about it. And great, basically, I was like, I know I'm not her type of dude anyway. But it was like, oh, what's wrong with him? And she was like, well, he got to be able to buy me 2 pairs of shoes and take me out to a nice spot. I said, you're 14. One, two, you're not worth all that. Like, what? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what we have to hear early on in our lives. We hear this from damn near preteens to teenagers to early 20s to 30s. We have to hear this. This isn't like new. It is wild. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these women who are saying, why don't black men go to college, were also the same ones saying the same stuff to the boys their age back in the day. And now they look goofy. Man, the bash black man industrial complex is deep, man. It's deep because it's like, what do you want these brothers to do? They done tried everything. It's only but so much they can really do, and it's not even their fault, to be honest. Like, it's their fault for being stupid to falling for it, but it's also not their fault because of the circumstances of like what y'all put them in. Can't get no cheeks if you don't got the money, and you got to get it a certain way to really turn me on. If you don't do it that way, you might not get these draws. So life in the Ash lane is correct. And yeah, she's right. We do stuff to appease the opposite sex. So by that logic, then she understands that men have had to go out and get their money by any means necessary to get the attention of black women specifically in our community. I don't give a damn what white men and them do. We're talking about us. And she said the best thing ever. If women in the black community prioritize intelligence, skill, all these things, the positive things that make a real man, these problems wouldn't be an issue. But yes, college is the long game. You know, you do 4 years in an institution, you get your degree. Most people just get their bachelor's, but if you go and you want to get your doctorate, you know, it's like 7-8 damn years. So, you know, it just depends. And yes, even at college, these girls don't want the brothers that's working. So even when black men do go to college, they still don't get no damn love anyway. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Like, how the fuck does that make sense? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. What can you do about that? So yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, Life in the Ash Lane broke it down pretty much perfectly. But yeah, let's move on. Actually, I think I'm gonna give y'all B. Taylor. This is actually surprising because like I usually don't get down with B. Taylor, but this time she actually made sense. And I've been, you know, seeing B. Taylor and like the Peace Network and things for years, but she really makes sense here. And I'll actually show y'all why. She actually is like legitimately in the middle with this one. And I love that. So I'll show y'all.
So I didn't get a chance to weigh in about the whole black men don't go to college conversation, but here's my take on this. I feel like on both sides, let me address. The women, I feel like they use this as an opportunity to weaponize and talk shit about black men, and that's one side of the spectrum. And then on the other side, I've seen a lot of black men making excuses of why they didn't value education and why they didn't go to college, when we all know there's a bigger and deeper meaning of why black men are not going to school at a higher rate. And no, this is not to excuse men on all the excuses that they were bringing up, because the same trauma that they experienced, black women also experience. But this just goes to show that men and women are built differently. And the sooner that you recognize this, the sooner we will be able to fix the problem in the community by starting in our home, not other people.
Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit of a clip, but yeah, I usually don't stop in the middle, but I'm stopping here because she's right. The trauma excuse is used way too much. When both demographics have the trauma, it means we have to work on it together. And she's right. She's 100% correct. We got a lot of shit we got to work on in the black community, and trauma and using it as an excuse to enable bullshit is one of the ones that really need to go. But I'm gonna let Retailer continue.
People's home, because a lot of these men are a lost cause and they are who they are and just don't procreate with them. On the other hand, a lot of y'all do have sons, so this conversation is needed, and the source to that information of why a lot of these black men are not valuing education needs to be looked into, especially if you are raising black little boys. And I remember a guy saying that, there's all these things that are against them, but one of the things that I noticed is that young black boys are easily influenced by media. They're easily influenced by men who look like them. So they get into sports, they get into music. And that's one of the things I mostly see from a lot of black men is they want to get into the arts. They want to get into sports because that's where a lot of their values are put. And they see other men who look like them make it. But I don't know how many times I've seen black men, unks, grandfathers grow up and try to live through their sons because they play football, got a knee injury. The son played football, got a knee injury. Now the grandson's playing football and they're hoping that somebody's going to make it. If only y'all cheered as hard as y'all do at these basketball games, at these football games, or whatever sports, and give the amount of attention to your sons the way you do when they accomplish something in sports, the way you speak life into them, the way you say, oh, I know my son's going to be making it big one day. If only you cheered every time he made an A. If only you cheered every time he came back with his homework and he passed. Every time he brought home his report card, you're not yelling at him about how he can do better, but you're putting life into your son, and you're putting a lot of energy around education and how to celebrate education and pay attention. Because let's be honest, a lot of you parents don't talk to the teachers until the end of the year because your child is failing. That's all. You don't even have a relationship with your child's teacher. And what's sad is a lot of y'all don't even know that child's teacher's name. My sister's a teacher, and this is a constant problem where a lot of kids are failing and their parents come in last minute trying to say, well, what can we do? Ma'am, it's the end of the year. Sir, it's the end of the year. It ain't where have you been? I'll set an example. This is why community is important for any child, but I'll set an example. My son was struggling in school, and guess what? I went and called for a parent-teacher conference. Dad weighed in and we talked to all his teachers and where he was struggling. I sat down and got a piece of paper out, wrote down everything, looked over everything. And guess what? Because of my community and because I have teachers in my family, my son now gets tutoring every weekend. Me and his dad takes him to the library every time he gets out of school. And I know that sometimes a lot of us are not able to do those. I am blessed enough to have my son's father take him to the library. And then when I get off of work, I go and sit down with him and go over his homework, go over, I think there's just like this app, I don't want to give the name away, but there's an app that you can do practice and do practice work to work on with your child and encourage them and speak life into them. And not those parents who's like, if A equals da 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 da, or 1 + 1 = what? And you're yelling at them and discouraging them because yes, boys are fragile. They are very fragile. You should not do that to any of your children. I'm not saying baby your boys. I'm not saying that. But you need to understand the nature of a man compared to a little girl. Your girls also need to be nurtured and talked to correctly and not yelled at all the time. Because imagine somebody wanting you to do something like go to college and you already felt like a failure in grade school. Could you imagine if they hate school so much, if they hate school in grade school, what makes them want to go and feel like a failure again after grade school? Because college is all about discipline. It's not grade school. It's about discipline. You literally make your own schedule and what your study time will be, and what time you go to class, and what time you leave that college campus and go to your dorm room to go study. A lot of them were not taught about discipline. They were taught about discipline on the field, on the football field, basketball, but they were not taught about discipline when it came down to education. They were just good enough to pass. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So yeah, like I said, B Taylor, usually I just tend to zone out whenever B Taylor speaks because it seems like she always finds a way to excuse something. But something about her seems to have shifted recently. I mean, I haven't seen a lot with her, but this one right here is a beautiful example. She didn't just put black men under the bus, but she also didn't turn on black women either. She basically said the community is responsible for this problem. And she says it starts in the home. She says it starts with the parents. She straight up says some of y'all moms ain't worth a damn either. So thank you. That's another person that basically said exactly what we need to be said. I'm not saying the black women are all bad. I'm saying like this is an issue that when it comes to black boys, their only value is to A, go to the damn NBA, B, go to the NFL, or C, become a rapper. They have no other outlet, and that's not even true. There's a lot of black men who could have easily become an engineer or a plumber or an electrician or a chef or a damn real estate realtor or a doctor or anything, but because there's only certain ways y'all like loophole these boys into, y'all loophole them. And then they like, well, I gotta go to the NFL. What if they don't go to the NBA? Then what do? They waste their whole lives thinking they were gonna go and they don't go. We have a bad situation right now. And it seems like a lot of these young bulls is not even really trying to be athletes. It seems like they really just want to be rappers. They want to be rappers. What do we do with that? That's harsh, man. And it's easy. It's easier now to become a rapper than it's ever been. All you gotta do is go on YouTube or TikTok and make some bullshit lyrics work together and everyone calls it a banger. Then you get big. It is not hard. It's even easier for black women. All they gotta do is over-sexualize themselves and degrade themselves, and they get famous. But yeah, B Taylor was right, man. She's 100% on. I like I said, B Taylor really shocked me with this video. She really did. Because we need to talk about that. We're a lot of black parents don't know their children's teacher. There isn't a relationship. There isn't anything. You don't know what's going on in your child's life at school because 9 times out of 10, as Life in the Ash Lane has stated, a lot of y'all boys is raised by single moms. So unfortunately, your mom is out here doing XYZ, XYZ, XYZ all day, every day. She come home tired. So she ain't got time to ask you about your homework. She don't got time to ask you about this, that, and the third. And this ain't 100% on the moms. This on the dads too, because B Taylor's right. Y'all will clap, do backflips, climb up the wall, jump off the building, and be like, my son made a touchdown. My son done fucked his first little shorty. He done did. Y'all try to live vicariously through your sons, and y'all try to live this glamorous fantasy that's been pumped into our brains. If your son ain't out here trying to run through everything in the neighborhood, or if he ain't in the NBA, or if he ain't a rapper, you ain't trying to deal with him. But again, this comes from what B Taylor also said is, how about those men are lost causes? Don't procreate with them. But unfortunately, y'all have a tendency to do it. So we have a problem here. And the value of black men has not changed. It's either athlete or rapper. And we need to find a way to break that shit. Now, I do get it with like professional people who are like, yeah, I want my son to become an athlete just like me. Or like T.I. and them was like, they want their sons to become rappers. Your kids might not be as talented as you in that department. They could damn sure be more talented than you in another department. Just because you went to the NFL doesn't mean your son has to. Just because you became a singer doesn't mean your daughter has to. And that's the problem. The black community is too fixated on talent and whether this person is going to become famous because we need this person to make enough money to retire their mom who shouldn't have had this child with the person she had it with in the first place. There's a lot going on in this community, man. We got too much going on. Not to mention the fact that like black men aren't really encouraged to go to college. And we never talked about that. Like, if you really look at the black community, black girls are 100% told, do you get it together, go to college, don't depend on nobody, this, that, and the third, because blah, 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 whatever. Usually a bitter ass mom or a dad who's also just scared to go against the narrative. We got those are two of some of the biggest problems and two of the biggest parent dynamics in the black community. And the boys, it's like, well, nigga, you gonna be an athlete. Well, nigga, you gonna be this and a third. And then also, you got to get some money. A lot of dads don't tell their sons to go to college. They're like, man, fuck college. Go get that money. Go get a job. Go cut grass. Go do this, that, and the third. No, send your son to college. Why would you not want to send your son to college? Why would you want, or send him to trade school? Trades are doing wonderfully right now. It's a large amount of trade positions open for people to go get their certificate. Go get their certificate and make some bread. So a lot of people with certificates who paid less money, who are making a lot of money. I obviously went to college. I'm going to college. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not for everybody. I didn't think it was for me, but here I am. I'm here. And I think that's just what it is. But to tell our kids to just go to the NFL and go to music and all shit, that shit gotta die. Like, I don't mind our kids doing music, but can our kids play the harp? Can our kids play the guitars? Can our kids play the violin? Can we put our kids in these demographics of music? Instead of just saying, go be a rapper. Yeah, it's easy to be a rapper now. But hip hop is losing its popularity. As far as apparently it's losing its popularity for the first time in like 2 decades. So something got to change, and we do too. I'm not understanding. Like, Madison Colley is a harp player, and she is phenomenal. And most people don't know who Madison Colley is, but she's a black woman who plays the harp beautifully. I love her, man. She's really good. The harp is my favorite instrument, but my mom couldn't afford to buy it, and I wasn't gonna like rip her skin off because I really wanted to play the harp, but it is what it is. But I do want to talk about, like I said, de-emphasizing the black boys not going to college. Here is a video from some brother on TikTok.
Men, haven't wanted to go to college because it wasn't emphasized how important education actually is. That emphasis wasn't placed in your sons, it was in your daughters. Because through multiple government interventions, including welfare and a certain brand of hip hop and culture, 2 things became clear. Either you were going to make it out of the hood as a rapper or as an entertainer, normally a rapper. So the culture started to emulate this. You are the culture, so it's you teaching your kids these things. I went to a state spelling bee when I was around the 4th or 5th grade, and both of my parents were present at that. Y'all only show up when your kid can hoop or when they can make music very well. But if he shows an interest in the sciences, he shows an interest in mathematics, he shows an interest in any kind of literature, you're not going to put him in those advanced classes. Hell, most of the time, you don't even want to put him in a place where that opportunity exists. Because in many cases in the black community, mothers actively hate their sons. You tell him he look like his daddy. He's stupid just like his daddy. You belittle him at every single turn, and you place bringing a new man into your life over the importance of your son. In a lot of cases, you might even do it over your daughter, which is where a lot of these grape cases come from. But y'all not ready for that conversation. We still gonna have it though. I bet you that. You want your son to value education. Don't just reward him for when he makes a game-winning shot or for when he just makes the team. Incentivize him doing something positive with his life. Show him that you're capable of doing the same thing with your own. Not being able to escape the hood is actively a myth. The hood is an area of real estate. How do I know that? Ask the dude who gentrified it. Not worried about no culture infecting a certain area. If he want to buy it, he gonna buy it. So if you want to leave, leave. Put your kids in a different situation. But you got all this to say on the internet about how black men don't go to college. When the last time you spoke to your brother? One of your nephews? A cousin? When the last time you encouraged him to have any type of goals in his life outside of sports or music? Have you ever done that? I'm not gonna wait for the answer because I already know it. Y'all want stuff to change so bad. Do the changing.
Yep. Basically what I said. That it's not emphasized on how important education is for black boys. It's only emphasized on how important it is for black women. And like he said, this is the 3rd person straight who said we value the wrong things in our kids and our men, period. Our men specifically. You only show up when he's at the game-winning shot, when he makes the team, when he's on, like he just said, it's always of one or two things: music or athletics. And music is wonderful, but it's not the music you want them to do. You want them to do rap music. You want them to do R&B, which is not wrong. Nothing wrong with R&B. It's not wrong with rap music. I'm a huge hip hop proponent, but not the type of rap music most people want their sons to do. That's the part that's not getting understood. The other thing is, yeah, when was the last time anybody, like, I've tried to get my brother to do shit, and mind you, this my older brother, but he's too son husband. He's too can't really do things without my mom's input at 35. Shit is weird to me, but I'm glad I don't have that problem. Like, I just really am glad I don't have that problem. And the other thing is, we got to think just how big of an issue this is across the board. Like we said, we don't put this value in our sons to go out there and do this, because we tell them they just got to have money and go get sports, music, whatever. And that's the problem. And when, like he said, when black boys want to be in sports, when black boys want to get into like science or building or anything, you don't even want them near those programs. It's like the hood. It's like black people purposely make sure that their sons are nowhere near resources. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? We make sure that our sons are nowhere near resources, but then be like, our sons don't have resources, or black people in general don't, but we don't even give our kids the option to have them. So how the hell are we supposed to make this happen? I'm telling y'all, and this started a long time ago. Like the 80s, I think, was the last time a smart black man was seen as something. Fast forward to 2025, a black man, I got told I was white because I like the harp. Like, the first thing somebody said was like, don't nobody play the harp in the hood. I'm like, and that's the problem, because we don't do anything in the hood. All we do is talk shit, kill each other, have irresponsible sex, make a bunch of kids out of nowhere, and then say, hey, people who don't act like this, come fix it. Why do you hate your own people? That's really what's wrong. That's really what's wrong. Straight up. That's just what it is. That's a bad joint. But we're about to get into a little bit more of the egregious part of this. Here's this one sister right here who I don't technically dislike her, but what she says and how she goes about it is a little pretentious.
Siblings, 5 black brothers, and I am the only one to go and finish college out of all of them. Dad on drugs, in and out of jail. Mom on drugs, got taken away from them, placed in foster care until my aunt and uncle retrieved me. I had to stop playing sports in high school because my aunt tried to force me to watch my little brother. I said, that is not my child. I'm going to go get a job instead. When it came to college, I filled out my FAFSA. I did have to ask my aunt and uncle a couple questions, but I filled it out. I submitted it. My mom passed away a few weeks before I got to college. I did get Pell Grants because I used the income of my mom and dad of $0, but I also did have to get student loans on top of that. When I got to college, I decided to pick up track and cross country. Never ran it a day in my life, but I figured, hey, why not? Mind you, when you're running track and cross country, you're running throughout the entire school year. You don't get a break. I did not have a scholarship at first, which means that I did not have extra money, which means that I had a job. Not only was I a full-time student, I was also a full-time athlete, and while everybody else was dilly-dallying, I had to go to work. I also did not have a car my entire college era. My people did not pay for me to go to college, and that aunt who had me stop doing sports in high school, she also wanted me to drop out of college to watch my little brother. I don't know if black men were trying to go to Ivy League schools or D1 schools, and I'm not telling you to go to college or not to go to college, but I will say I went from a JUCO to a D2 school, and the points that y'all are making are just excuses.
Damn. Like, she just wasted no time really finding a way to like jab at us. Again, the men and women are valued differently. Now, what she's saying, like I said, her mom was on drugs, dad was this and third. Sorry to hear that. And you had a bunch of siblings. Your aunt was trying to crabs in a barrel you. And you didn't do that. And I'm proud of you, right? Happy for you. But y'all love to leave out that these programs are set up for you, not for us. Yeah, of course you can go to college and do all that, because there's more programs here to set up for you than they are for us. So ain't that a bitch? Right? Like, it's funny. The reason why they give y'all all these options to do these things is because the country really does not see black women as a threat. That's just what it is. The country does not view black women as a threat. They're not afraid of you because they can give you anything and you'll take it and use it against us. But the country does not view you as a threat. They're more afraid of us than they are of you. And that's really how you destroy a community. You destroy the man. And unfortunately, it seems like, out of you and all your brothers, you're the only one that went to college and got out. I'm happy for you. No shade here, but why'd you have to shame your brothers? And then on top of that, why are you shaming black men as a whole when there are enough black men to go to college? The problem is that there's also a lot of black men who go get their trades instead of going to college and make pretty good money off the trades, as the very lovely Life in the Ash Lane specified earlier in the damn live. And this is true. It's people with trades that make more money than people with degrees. It's terrifying, actually. So is college becoming obsolete? And if that's so, all those little like fluff degrees y'all got at some point in time is going to air you out. Now, I'm hoping she got a degree in something tangible. That's what I would love to believe. But not every black woman is going to school for something tangible. Y'all go for like fluff ass degrees just to say you went, just to put you in the same league with that guy that also went to college, but he went for something tangible. The only way you really can get a financial outburst and get different is if you go to college for something tangible. I know STEM is hard. It is horrible courses, but that's the one that pays the most. So you have to go through the hardest courses to get the most money. Business, that pays a lot. If you're a finance major or an accounting major or a marketing major, you're going to be making some pretty good money. But if you just going for like your civic studies degrees or your humanities degree or your like African American studies degree, unless you're going to become a professor at a really good university, why would you get that degree? Why go into all that debt just to get that degree if it's not going to pay you? Now, I'm not saying teachers are like not important. I think teachers should get paid way more than they do. So teaching should be a really good degree, but the way the country is about it, it's not. Probably because it's mostly a female dominated field, but I'm not going down that road right now. It's just not worth it. But yeah, it's just y'all constantly talk about how y'all go to college, y'all live in college. Y'all may be the most enrolled demographic, but y'all do not have more degrees than white girls or Asian girls. Sorry. It just is what it is. Like, y'all don't have more degrees than them. Wild as it is, wild as it sounds, right? But y'all don't. The other crazy thing is like, y'all are letting these people really fluff y'all heads up to think that y'all are running circles around us. Y'all not. Y'all really not. Let's continue the live, because it is a little bit upsetting to constantly keep having to get berated like we just out here just not doing shit. But let's go to this system.
Thoughts about why black men are not going to college? Well, yes, of course. I am literally getting my master's in education, and I am studying this in my university as a problem course. But I am not going to add to this discourse or this conversation because, one, no matter what I say, someone's going to come into the comments and try to refute actual statistical, factual data that, in general, if you go to college, you, one, will earn more money than a person who is not making or not going to college. And two, you have lower unemployment rates or have less of a risk of being unemployed if you go to college. It's statistical data there to prove that this is a fact. I am not looking to argue with the one person who says, well, I didn't go to college and I'm a millionaire. Outliers do not beat overall overwhelming majority data. Please. What I'm actually going to add to this conversation is some of the things that I am doing as a auntie of little black boys who are in their teens about to go to that college phase. I have 4 nephews in that age so far. My oldest nephew had some college and now he's decided to go into the military. My second nephew, I don't talk to as much immediately, you know. Sometimes we are bad aunties. but I believe he said he wants to go into trade school. My third nephew, who is also graduating this year, I again don't know what his plans are. And my last nephew, who is going to be graduating next year, we are starting right now. You can start talking to your teenager about college at whatever time. The first thing that I'm offering is that community college is more than okay to start. Matter of fact, majority of people who are enrolled in college are enrolled in a public community college. And that's a statistical fact. The majority of people are not going to a traditional 4-year college. The next thing that I am going to stress is that college is a time where you can try and learn a bunch of different things and figure out what you do and don't like. Also going to have all of my nephews that are in graduation age take a personality test. Maybe we'll do Myers-Briggs and Clifton Strengths. I think those are really good as to kind of understand what their personality is. They're still pretty young, so their personality is going to change, but I want to focus on getting them into a major that really more so works with their personality and less about what is going to make the most money, because you'll make more money by literally doing something that works with your personality and your learning habits. I am having my nephews actually talk to Black men who went to college, talk to Black men who have college degrees that are working in interesting fields. I have Black men in my life who have done all of those things. And the only way a little Black boy can aspire to college and better things is to know that they have that community and they can have those conversations with other Black men. Of course, I am also enrolling them in college tours and going on college tours with them. When I go speak on college campuses, if it's in the DMV area, I bring him along with me so that he can go onto a college campus and see what other Black men on campus look like. The way to fight is exposure, not arguing online about why it's happening. The key is to make sure that we are changing the narrative. So if you are an auntie, pull your nephews in, ask them what they want to do. Start pulling our young boys in and giving them the direction and giving them the tools. I'm not having a productive conversation about why the statistics look like that and arguing with people who have never read a statistical paper or a research paper ever in their fucking lives. I am focusing on the things that I can change and the lives that I can impact with what resources I have. And I'm really trying to call in other people to do the same. I do not subscribe to the narrative that you don't need college. You absolutely do. Statistically, you need, as a Black person in America, you need higher education.
Yup. Straight up facts. As a Black person in America, I highly recommend you guys get a higher form of education. Now, I'm not saying you need college, but you are guaranteed to make more money as a college graduate. The only problem is the job market is a mess right now. So as long as we got this job market situation, yeah, it's a little bit risky. Yeah, we don't know what the economy is going to look like in the next year. I mean, if anything, the stock market is probably going to crash. And if it does crash, if I were y'all, I would save up at least $1,000 and put some of that bread in the stock market. So when the economy gets back together and everything goes back up, get your money. And you know about the stock market, buy low, sell high. That's just the rule of thumb there. But what she's saying is absolutely what we need. I love what she's doing. She's literally putting the idea of college in the boys' heads, which is what we need to do as a community. We put the idea of college in the daughters' heads, and that's great. But we need to put the idea of college in both of our kids' heads, because what goes on in other communities is they tell both of their sons and daughters to go the fuck to college to build that wealth for the community, their community. That's just what it is. These other races, especially these Indians and Asians, they go to college, they get their degrees. Everything that they earn goes back to their family. Black people are the only community of, oh, he'll figure it out. Oh, he'll figure it out. Oh, the streets only raise a boy. Only the streets raise a man. Da 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 da. No, that's why these boys is out here not making it to 18 anymore. So we got a lot to cover. We got a lot to deal with because we got a lot of ground to dig up and foundate, because we have been sitting here telling black boys for the longest time it's cool to go out here and be in the streets. We don't push our boys. We put everything into the women, and yes, the men are guilty of this too. I'm saying the men are guilty too. The men who be like, yeah, I'm in my kids' lives, they tell their daughters to go to college. They do not tell their son to go to college. And this is every man. There's a lot of men in the black community who send their sons to college. But those men are seen as sellouts. Those men don't get respect. But the results are the results for a reason. So it's about time we started changing the narrative. As a matter of fact, speaking of changing the narrative, I'm about to go right into this next video because it kind of goes hand in hand. So here we go.
Black men don't go to college. Man, this has been the topic for the whole damn 2-3 weeks, damn near the whole month. Listen, I'm going to speak on this. Reason why I didn't want to talk on it at first, because I know I can get long-winded with it, and the message might not even reach anybody. But hell, I'm going to say my piece. If you watch it, I appreciate it. But this is the reason why black men, especially where I'm from, Southeast North Carolina, in the South, a lot of us didn't go to college because, hell, our daddies didn't go to college. Our mamas didn't go to college. Some of them did. And I'm from the country. Their mamas and daddy didn't go to college. So as a kid, my mom and dad never helped me with homework. They never sat down. They never advised me. They never mentored me. They never guided me. They never prepped me for anything dealing with education or college. So could I have been a statistic? Absolutely. Now, sister, on the other hand, she was an honor student. She was in all this AP, honors, all this shit since middle school. Boy, they rolled out the red carpet for her little black ass. And guess what she did? She dropped out after a semester at Fayetteville State. It's no shade to my sister, but that's just to show you that, like, there's dynamics to it, right? Now, was my sister smart? Absolutely. And a way better athlete than me. But see, I was an athlete, but I wasn't that athlete that was, the advisors looked like, hey, this boy could go somewhere, that he can do some things, he could represent and put this town on the map. No. I was tall. I could jump out the gym, but I wasn't a good basketball player. I was better than the average around this motherfucker, but I wasn't about to be no Sweet 16 diaper dandy or no shit like that. I was very good in track. Honestly, I didn't lose a track race until the state championship. Very good at track. But guess what? Females didn't really care about that. Black daddies, the community don't give a damn how fast you run. This track wasn't sexy at the time. We talking about the early 2000s. So with that being said, what do? I knew at age 16 I was going to the Air Force. The only reason why I went to college is because I started getting offers, partials, letters from schools about athletics. I was like, this got to be a hoax. I'm ass in basketball. Track, I could see, and that's what it was. Started getting offers from school with track. Mind you now, I'm scrambling my senior year. I ain't even take the SAT or nothing because I had no vision of what to do to go to college. I wasn't prepped to go to college. Guess what I do? Spring semester, taking every SAT I can. You know, I'm only taking one, I think, like every quarter or some shit like that. Man, I took the SAT all the way until I think July, right before to just get a better score each time. And I did. I got pretty good. I think I had like 1120 or some shit like that. It's pretty good. But guess what my first one was? A 770. And then I went to like a 1080, something like that. My last one was pretty good. And that's how I got into college, because my GPA wasn't going to get me in college. But guess what? I didn't have parents that was on my head about that or advised me like, hey, Nico, schools really ain't jumping out the gym to take a motherfucker who got a 2.7 high school GPA. 2.7, I think that's great. Because you know why? It's a C. And what they say, C's get degrees. All right? Now, as a parent and as a college graduate, I prep my boys. I talk to my sons all the time. Hey, where y'all want to go to school? What we going to do? My oldest son, hey, we're going to 2 visits a year. Go to a college institution that you choose. Just recently talked to him about that. Like, hey, Cam, where we going? What schools you want to? What 3 schools you want to attend academically, and 3 schools you want to attend athletically? App State, Carolina, and A&T. Boy, want to be an Aggie. Cool. I don't care what you do. But guess what? I will never push the narrative that my parents pushed to me. College isn't for everyone. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So with that being said, I'm going to try to help change the culture. And I get it. People talk about the debt and all that other bullshit. Y'all are going more debt and buying fucking 2020 a fucking AMG or Benz, and you will get rid of that in 3 years versus the education that you're going to take with you the next 60 years of your life. Go fucking figure.
Yep, 100% right. The brother is 100% right. He said it best. He said it best. They roll out the red carpet for the smart girl, but they don't roll out the red carpet for the brother if he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, which is actually the music. The other thing that I want to point out is the fact that he mentioned he's telling his sons early, hey, let's go on a college tour. Let's go look at some schools. Let's go pay attention to such and such and such and such. Let's go do this. He's not just saying, son, go get the money. Go get some bitches. Get as much sex as you can. He's not doing that to his son, because that's also been detrimental to our community. I'm telling you, black boys are valued through 2 things: athleticism, potential being a rapper, and some dick. That's it. That's all. And to see him say he wanted to change the culture, what we need. I'm proud of this brother right here. I'm so proud of this brother because he went on TikTok and said that shit out loud. And we do need more black men to do this to their sons. Like, I'm saying this as a black man. We need more black men to do this to their sons, because this is exactly the main problem going on. We are not telling our boys that they need to go to college. And I love that he said something, because this was a narrative for years, is college ain't for everybody. You never hear that in the white community. You never hear that in the Hispanic community. Never hear that in the Asian community, because the Asians tell you, them kids from birth to grown, take your ass to school. Go to school. Education, discipline, that's what's important. And honestly, seeing how these Asian kids be moving at school, yeah, these kids is focused as hell. We need to do a little bit of that to our kids. But unfortunately, we got too many immature, irresponsible people who want to be friends with their kids instead of being a parent, and having kids at 18, 19, 20, not knowing a damn of how to be an adult. And then it's like, I got my kids out the way early, now I can go out. Yeah, that's nice. But are you raising your kids? And usually they don't. They feed them, they put clothes on them, send them to school, but they're not raising their kids. They're not putting any values in their kids, any morals, any structures. They're not putting this into their children. And yes, these kids tend to be smart when they're children, when they're with their mothers. But when they become teenagers, it can become a little bit more of a fall off, because as teenagers are more difficult, the mom isn't as rough on teenagers as the dad can be. That's where the perfect dynamic comes in. There's always that one exception to swallow the rule, but every exception can't swallow the rule. And that's what it is. And I'm glad this brother said, he's like, I take my kids, my son, to wherever. That narrative of college ain't for everybody is dead, because it's a dumbass narrative. So good for him. Real good for him. We just have to really change it. And I think this next generation of black men, this current generation and next generation, I think this is the best generation for black men to finally make the change. We already ain't kissing white boys' asses no more. We are in our kids' lives more than the previous generation. So We're making the stride, we're making the change, but again, for every black man that's in his kids' lives, there's 5 or 10 black women lined up to have kids with one dude that's impregnating the whole community. It's just what it is. The numbers tell you everything you need to know. That's just the reality. But then we also have this reality of black men religiously getting singled out. It is annoying as hell to me. This is like every day something new comes out. Oh, black men ain't going to college. Oh, black men leave their kids. Black men do this. Black men do that. It's like y'all bash black men every given damn day of the week, and then on Saturday and Sundays it's extra because y'all got more time to do it then, because some of y'all off. It's just getting out of hand here. I'm glad this brother said he'll change the culture. Beautiful, because that's exactly what we need to do. We need to change the damn culture. I love black people, but I hate the culture. I will say that 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I love black people, but I hate the culture. But let me go into this sister, because she kind of builds off of the last two things as well.
Look at it, not looking at black men as a potential romantic partner. We have to take that out the equation, because I think that when we have this conversation, people get very emotional because they only see black men as his value if they were his potential, he was your potential romantic partner. And I've been guilty of doing that throughout the years, but I think that we have to take that out of the equation. Let's look at them as brothers, colleagues, peers, people. You can grow up in the same environment and it looks like we have the same access to the same things, and we do not. I grew up in the same household as my 3 brothers, and we all had different experiences with the same set of parents. I am 28. I have a 25-year-old and a 19-year-old. The 25 and 19-year-old were not put on a college track, and we were in the same household. They were told to follow and pursue football from Little League, 6 years old, till 18, 19 years old. That's your only way to go to college, and your only reason to go to college is to pursue D1 athletics. That's the only thing that has been drilled into my brother's brains in my household. And so I am telling this story based off of what I've seen in my household, and I believe is happening in a lot of black households and schools. If you are not an exceptional student, nerd, bookworm, or an exceptional athlete, people are not pouring into black men to go to college in most black environments, especially here in the South and in the North. I'm from Connecticut, and none of my cousins who are men have gone to college. So I really want us to talk about it in a solution-oriented way, not in a, well, are they eligible to be romantic partners? Take your feelings out of it and talk about how we can bring solutions to the community. Why are we not catering to the boys that are in the middle, that are just average students? Average black women are encouraged to go to college. Get degrees. It's for college. It's for black women. But black men, unless you're exceptional athletically or academically, people are not pouring into them. And I know this because I work in academic spaces. I am on the alumni board at my university, which is a PWI. I mentor young black students on the high school level here in Atlanta. So I'm talking based off of what I know, not based off of scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, and just, running my mouth. So let's just have a real conversation, provide real solutions, create real initiatives that I hope those boys who are in the middle, who are the C+ students, get into college and help them pick degrees that will lead to a fulfilling career. That's it.
Okay, so she said a mouthful, and she did it in a much shorter way than the other ones did. But I'm actually going to break this one down a little more than the other ones, like by replaying it. I know I haven't replayed the others, but I really want to replay this one and break down certain points that she pointed out.
I want us to look at it not looking at black men as a potential romantic partner. We have to take that out the equation, because I think that when we have this conversation, people get very emotional because they only see black men as his value if they were his he was your potential romantic partner. And I've been guilty of doing that throughout the years, but I think that we have to take that out of the equation. Let's look at them as brothers, colleagues, peers, people.
Why remove that part of the equation when that's the main reason why y'all complaining? I do get it though, but it is The main reason y'all are complaining is that these men aren't eligible for marriage or this, that, and the third. But if you're a college-educated woman, you are around black men at college. What was wrong with them? Just a thought.
You can grow up in the same environment and it looks like we have the same access to the same things, and we do not. I grew up in the same household as my three brothers, and we all had different experiences with the same set of parents. I am 28. I have a 25-year-old and a 19-year-old. The 25 and 19-year-old were not put on a college track, and we were in the same household. They were told to follow and pursue football from Little League, 6 years old, till 18, 19 years old. That's your only way to go to college, and your only reason to go to college is to pursue D1 athletics. That's the only thing that has been drilled into my brother's brains in my household.
See? She just said it. It's her and her two brothers. They all lived in a house with two parents. So they're from a two-parent household. They're from a nuclear family, thank God, actually. That's nice to hear. And the parents did the same damn thing. They pumped college into the daughter, told the daughter go get her degree, go level up, go this, and the third, and they tried to put the boys in the NFL. The only way you can go to college is to go on a scholarship. So you set your sons up to fail, basically. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's being told right here in real time why black men aren't going to college. It's not that we don't want to. It's never like entrusted in us to go, or it's never been like pressured. And I don't even want to say pressured, but we didn't even have no pressure put on us to go to college. So it's like, what are we supposed to do with that? Like, this woman just said that her parents told her to go to college, rolled the red carpet out for her to go, and told the boys, hell no, basically. You only go on football. Again, athlete. And it's ridiculous, yo. It's ridiculous. But again, she said it. We were all three brothers and sisters with the same two parents in the same household, and we all had a different experience. Just let that sink in.
So I am telling this story based off of what I've seen in my household, and I believe is happening in a lot of black households in schools. If you are not an exceptional student, nerd, bookworm, or an exceptional athlete, people are not pouring into black men to go to college in most black environments, especially here in the South and in the North. I'm from Connecticut, and none of my cousins who are men have gone to college. So I really want us to talk about it in a solution-oriented way, not in a, well, are they eligible to be romantic partners? Take your feelings out of it and talk about how we can bring solutions to the community.
Okay, so I do like that. She's basically talking to black women only, which is good because that needs to fucking happen. But I do want her to understand that, like, the main reason this conversation is happening is because of the dating market. That's the main reason this conversation is happening. And the other reason this conversation is happening is because there has to be someone to talk shit about black men in the worst way possible every damn week. That's just what it is. On the further hand, she has pointed out it's even in schools. It happens even in schools. If you are not an exceptional athlete, it's funny because when I went to the counselor at school today and, I wanted to schedule an appointment, they were like, are you a student athlete? Even at schools, the athletes are the prize commodity. Now, this couldn't be because I'm black. It's just because they asked that question. But I just think it's so funny that it's like, if you're an athlete, you are treated royally. Because you're responsible to put the school on the map. That's why. I can only imagine what that Duke basketball team goes through. They probably be running through them at that school because they're a good basketball team. But the issue is, she even said it, at home, in the black community, at schools, if you are a black boy and you cannot produce athletically, you are seen as less than. And that's why we have a lot of black kids who are not interested in anything tangible because they're too busy chasing a dumbass fantasy. Let's continue.
Why are we not catering to the boys that are in the middle, that are just average students? Average black women are encouraged to go to college. Get degrees. It's for college, it's for black women. But black men, unless you're exceptional athletically or academically, people are not pouring into them. And I know this because I work in academic spaces. I am on the alumni board at my university, which is a PWI. I mentor young black students on the high school level here in Atlanta. So I'm talking based off of what I know, not based off of scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, and just, running my mouth. So let's just have a real conversation, provide real solutions, create real initiatives that I help those boys who are in the middle, who are the C+ students, get into college and help them pick degrees that will lead to a fulfilling career. That's it.
Good. I like that she ended that, because she ended it with a way of saying, let's put them in programs that can get them degrees that'll pay them. Damn, I wish I knew the name of that woman, but she did a great video basically saying, you go to college to get the fluff degree. The only way this works if you go to college to get a degree that will pay you. I mentioned this earlier, and I was paraphrasing her, but I can't remember her name. I wish I had her video, but she broke it down beautifully. She basically said, like, yeah, if you can't go get a degree that's worth a damn, why go through all the debt just to get nothing out of it? Where's the bond? Like, and I asked that same question. If you're not going to go to college to get a degree that could pay you, why go to college? I mean, yeah, it's a great experience. It's a great experience. The college experience is wonderful. But at the same time, you should go to college and get in debt for something that can help you pay said debt back. If you go to college and you get $200K in debt, but you only make $50,000 a year, nothing against $50,000 making, but if you only make $50,000 a year, you are operating in a crazy deficit. So we gotta start teaching our kids like the value of what's going on, because there's a lot of bullshit going on in this community and basically being pumped into y'all as well to look down on us. I think black men are being smarter about it. If he doesn't want to go to school for STEM, he'll go get his trade in welding or plumbing or electricity or whatever, gas technician, whatever. Hell, Life in the Ashley says she does hair and she makes a lot of money doing hair. And she has her trade degree. She has a trade certificate or diploma given out of school presented to her. And she makes great money, apparently. I know a lot of other people with their trade degree. My young boy, he's about to get his engineering trade. I'm like, he's about to be making bread. He's about to be making mad bread. I know a woman, she is a hairstylist with her trade in hair, and she makes a bomb amount of money. So these trade degrees, don't look down on them. And a lot of black men are more so getting their trade degrees than anything. A lot of these Gen Zers in general are trending more to trades than college degrees because you get a faster access to money earlier. So they're doing this smart, but the women are just looking down on them. But they'll be mad in a decade when they got to pay back all the student loans, and the brother's like, shit, mine going. I went to trade school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it is what it is. And that's where we got to start really pushing our kids. Like, I'd rather my kids get their trade or their degree than not do anything. You're getting something because you need to have some kind of skill to make it in this society. Point blank period. Just working at McDonald's for 10, 15 years or moving up at Giant or whatever. Like, I like the drive. I love the drive that you want to work. But also, you got to be working towards some kind of outcome that's beneficial. We don't teach our kids that because the black community is so set on resetting the fucking dial when you have kids and saying, get it out the mud. I got it out the mud, so you got to do it too, which was never supposed to be the case. No other community does this to their children. No other community says, you got to get it out the mud because I did. No, they put their kids in a position so they don't have to get it out the mud. They also set their kids up so that their kids won't have to get out the mud, and it goes down generations. Why do you think white money is so damn powerful? White people will make money and pass that shit into their family for 10 generations. Indian people, Hispanic people, Asian people, they all do it. We're the only race that doesn't do it. We got a crabs in the barrel mentality. We don't want to see the next generation do better than us, and we set our kids up for failure over and over and over again. That's the problem. So we really got to start switching this narrative up. Being more involved in our kids' school lives, knowing our kids' teachers, this, that, and the third. Maybe putting our kids in a 2-parent household would be nice. Let's go on to the next one. We coming up on the close on this live. We passed the hour. You know what I'm saying? You here with the Black Intellectual for an hour. Let's get on to the next one.
People obsession with doing something that they know statistically, physically, mentally, it can be right there in their face, know for a hardcore fact does not work out with them or for them as a whole needs to be studied. The discourse around black men not going to college is so insulting. So insulting. Because have you been outside lately? Have you opened this app lately? The main thing that you will notice is that people with 3-4 degrees as a whole, with their masters, PhDs, cannot find jobs. They are not being paid. Like, I'm sorry, what's not clicking? Wanting somebody to do something like waste 4 to 8 to 12 years on something that's not 100%, you're not 100% sure that it's gonna work out when you have to deal with the day-to-day struggles of a damn egg being $10 currently. It's wild to me. Y'all gotta stop it. We as a black community, we gotta stop it. Not only that, the way that y'all associate education with everything in the world is beyond. We have countless examples of people that are illiterate, that are trillionaires. And honestly, at where we at in life, at where this world is at, common sense over education, connections over education, networking over education, but most importantly, logic and common sense over education. A lot of y'all are dumb as hell with paperwork to show for it. And y'all know exactly what I mean. Outside of a book and studying materials, you can't function. You don't have no common logic. You don't have no skill set. You don't know how to market yourself. You don't know how to walk into a room. I went to college. I'm not down in college at all. Great experience. Loved it. But for where we are at currently and where we're going, is college necessary? Think back to high school. Was A squared plus B squared, was that necessary? I'm not saying, hey, if you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, hey, engineer, I'm not saying don't go. But hey, we have to have an honest conversation about the value of the degree currently. And y'all keep pushing, oh, these kids ain't. Y'all not teaching these kids logic. Y'all not teaching them how to deal with their emotion. Problem solving is more important. They're gonna have AI. They're gonna have AI. There was so much technology and so many passed down quiz and tests when I was in college. So I can imagine now who's not doing the legwork. You know what I'm saying? I get where y'all coming from, but I don't think as a whole that it's the right approach to say, oh, black men not going to college, and act so dense as to why not. We don't have realistic conversations in the community.
Damn. So she ain't wrong. We don't have realistic conversations in the community. She is right about that shit. We just don't. We like, networking is very important. I do a lot of that at the school I'm at now. I make sure to network. Like, my one friend's like, you know everybody. I said, hell yeah. I got to. I'm trying to build shit. I'm trying to get the future looking bright. I got to know people. You got to know people. It is what it is. All just trying to keep it real and be thorough and be hood and this, that, and so. No, like, networking gets you where you need to be. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And you have to know people to make it in the world that actually makes the fucking tangibles last. So no matter what, this is not a sellout. This is not what you think it is. And she's right. Based off where we're going, maybe college isn't the way to go. But I'm almost done. So I'm just going to do what I got to do. But for most people, getting a trade is probably the safest route. We don't know where this economy is going to go. And plus, I was lucky enough to get a really good scholarship, so I'm not going to be as in debt as most people. Not bragging, but I won't be. But we do have an issue that we have to get situated come hell or high water. We need to have these conversations. We don't teach our kids logic because most of the time, we don't even know how to problem solve. So how are we going to teach our kids logic if we can't even problem solve? We can't even listen to each other when somebody has a difference of opinion. How the hell are we going to teach our kids how to have logic? That's really what we're going to have to do. We have to teach our kids logic. Teach our kids the fundamentals. Like, it's nothing wrong with college. I'm a huge advocate for college, but I'm also like, only go to college if that degree is going to pay you. Don't go to college and get no damn art degree or get a damn civic studies degree or whatever. You need to get a degree that's going to get you in the damn door. Unfortunately, those are not the fun majors to take because you got to really put the work in. Shit is tiring. I'm a business student. It's not the worst thing, but it can get tiring and very frustrating at times. So I dig it. So yeah, she's right. We need to have more constructive conversations in the community. But I actually want to replay this video for y'all because I really want this one to land because I really, really like this one. That's why I saved it for almost the last one.
Black people obsession with doing something that they know statistically, physically, mentally, it can be right there in their face. Know for a hardcore fact does not work out with them or for them as a whole needs to be studied. The discourse around black men not going to college is so insulting. So insulting. Because have you been outside lately? Have you opened this app lately? The main thing that you will notice is that people with 3-4 degrees as a whole, with their masters, PhDs, cannot find jobs. They are not being paid. Like, I'm sorry, what's not clicking? Wanting somebody to do something like waste 4 to 8 to 12 years on something that's not 100%, you're not 100% sure that it's gonna work out when you have to deal with the day-to-day struggles of a damn egg being $10 currently. It's wild to me. Y'all gotta stop it. We as a black community, we gotta stop it. Not only that, the way that y'all associate education with everything in the world is beyond. We have countless examples of people that are illiterate, that are trillionaires. And honestly, at where we at in life, at where this world is at, common sense over education, connections over education, networking over education, but most importantly, logic and common sense over education. A lot of y'all are dumb as hell with paperwork to show for it. And y'all know exactly what I mean. Outside of a book and studying materials, you can't function. You don't have no common logic. You don't have no skill set. You don't know how to market yourself. You don't know how to walk into a room. I went to college. I'm not down in college at all. Great experience. Loved it. But for where we are at currently and where we're going, is college necessary? Think back to high school. Was A squared plus B squared, was that necessary? I'm not saying, hey, if you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, hey, engineer, I'm not saying don't go. But hey, we have to have an honest conversation about the value of the degree currently. And y'all keep pushing, oh, these kids ain't. Y'all not teaching these kids logic. Y'all not teaching them how to deal with their emotion. Problem solving is more important. They're gonna have AI. They're gonna have AI. There was so much technology and so many passed down quiz and tests when I was in college. So I can imagine now who's not doing the legwork. You know what I'm saying? I get where y'all coming from, but I don't think as a whole that it's the right approach to say, oh, black men not going to college, and act so dense as to why not. We don't have realistic conversations in the community.
All right, we're gonna leave that. That's honestly really just what we needed to see. She is 100% on, and she is not wrong in any perspective. I don't think she's wrong. I think the black community really needs to tighten up, but it comes down to us not being magical black people and shit. We like to try to be like, oh, just pray it away with the religious people, or oh, the world going, have the universe has its way of coming back around, and this, that, and the third. Like, we always find some weird ass way of just making reality not sink in. We just need to start really living in reality, especially in these modern times. We really need to start being in reality. It's sad, man. It really is. We have a hard time. These brothers not going to college, they don't have to go. I mean, I would love it for them to go. I push education on black people because we need it. But if they can't do college, I mean, them going to get their trade isn't a bad thing. That would be, honestly, based off what's going on about black people, like people in general with their degrees having a hard time finding a job. It sounds like the trades aren't having trouble at all. And I know a story about a guy who got his degree. He went and got his trade after getting his degree. He made more money with his trade than he did with his degree. Now, I don't know what degree he was getting. I don't know what his degree was in, but he made more money with his trade than his degree. Something to think about. But as always, I like to close out with Medium Man whenever I do a live this big, and I'm ready to bout in this live. I've been going for damn near an hour and a half. Let's let Medium Man bring us home real fast.
Just need black men to be more vocal, man. It's like y'all got your nuts cut off or something like that. That it bothers me that I see black men sit idly by and allow dudes like Touré to paint this narrative, and nobody is smart enough to go look at the statistics for themselves. common narrative, and one of the narratives that Torre brought up, is the fact that there's a small percentage of black men that go to Howard University and are enrolled in HBCUs, which are historically black colleges and universities.
And at Howard University, there are as many non-black students as there are black men.
And I put that in quotes at the top up there. The black community, black men aren't enrolling at historically black colleges and universities. And these are the most recent numbers. In 2022, and this may be some new information for you guys, a lot of people didn't know that we had that many or that little HBCUs. In 2022, there were 99 HBCUs located in 19 states, the District of Columbia, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. In 2022, there were 289,000 students enrolled across all HBCUs. Did that number shock you? Because based off of the black community, you know that it's about 47 million of us here. And for black women, I believe there's about 18 million plus black women in the current workforce, about 16 plus million black men. So if I'm sitting here telling you that only 289,000 289,000 students are enrolled in HBCUs, did that number shock you based off of the rhetoric that we hear on social media? 289,000. And all black men are getting condemned for not going to school. Think about that. You see how the black community likes to compartmentalize and not tell the full truth? So in 2022, non-black students made up 24% of enrollment at HBCUs. And you know where I got this from? Let me show you guys. Just in case anybody has an issue with these numbers, all you got to do is go to the most reputable source, the National Center for Education and Statistics. They have a fast facts page dedicated to HBCUs, guys. Question: what data do you have on historically black colleges and universities in the United States? They got everything. Non-black students, right here. Although HBCUs were originally founded to educate black students, they enroll students of other races as well. The composition of HBCUs has changed over time. In 2022, non-black students made up 24% of enrollment at HBCUs, compared with 15% in 1976. So I also mentioned that Torre said that there are more non-black students enrolled in HBCUs than black men. He lied. Now, this is the male enrollment for HBCUs. It's at 36%, which translates to 104,000. Black male enrollment is at 26%, which is 75,000. Non-black males enrolled is 10%, 28,000. So, first, let's start there. There are more black men enrolled than non-black men. Then let's go to female enrollment, 64%, which is 184,000, almost 185,000. Black female enrollment, 50%, 144,000. Non-black females enrolled, 14%, at 40,000. So didn't I just tell you guys that the NCES just told you that 24% of non-black students are enrolled in HBCUs? You add these two numbers together, what do you get? 24%. So he lied, okay? But I want to quote you guys something from the report that he actually cited. He went to New York Times because New York Times wrote an article about this, but he didn't click the link. This is from the American Institute for Boys and Men. HBCUs at a crossroads addressing the decline in black male enrollment, August 22nd, 2024. Right here, the first summary point. Black men account for only 26% of the students at historically black colleges and universities, down from 38% in 1976. In fact, there are fewer black men enrolled at HBCUs today than 1976. HBCUs have served as valuable institutions for Black students, offering a unique environment that fosters academic achievement, mental well-being, and economic mobility. And that's how they dupe Black women into believing this foolery. And then they get Black men to believe this stuff without doing the research. So he lied directly to the Black community's face, and they acting like he's somewhat of a champion for bringing this to the attention to Black people. No, it's an underlying hate there, because I know this guy. And then right here, the key takeaways: the share of non-Black students at HBCUs is now about equal to the share of Black students, 26 and 25% respectively. All they did was simply round up, because when I did the numbers for myself, it came out to 24%. So yes, the numbers are absolutely correct. This is an important one as well. In comparison, there are 2.3 million Black/African Americans enrolled in all degree granting post-secondary institutions. Historically Black colleges and university students only account for 12.56 of all enrollments. Okay, let's stop there. So that's why the Black community is focused on HBCUs, because it's only a small percentage. So if you sit there and say that Black men don't go to college, and you simply use HBCUs to point out that only 26% of Black men are enrolled in HBCUs, they won't look at the full number. And again, let's go back to the total Black population. If I'm telling you that there's 35 million Black men and women over the age of 18, remember this number. It's about 16 million Black men in the workforce and 18 million plus Black women in the workforce, okay? I'm telling you that across all degree granting post-secondary institutions, there's only 2.3 million Black people enrolled. So does the Black community as a whole need to start going to college a little bit more? Or is it just Black men? You see how this works when you break down the numbers? And the funny thing is, I spoke about this in regards to people who go to college. They tend to earn more money. So that's why I don't mind when people go to college. That's not the point. I know that you have a better chance of making more money when you have a degree under your belt. However, there are Black men who are foregoing college because of the college debt, for one, which is why it doesn't show up as high as Black women's. Now, on a balance of probabilities, if we had 50 Black men that went to college and got bachelor's degrees, and we have 50 Black men that went to skilled trades, the men with college degrees would make more money, almost about $1 million more over their lifetime. I know the statistics because I study them. But I'm not begrudging Black men who didn't go to college and making their way. And it's showing in the annual income earnings. And that's one point that the Black community has yet to acknowledge. Black women are going to college, but they're not even using their degrees in the fields that they tend to get degrees in. Their interest is just simply going to college and getting the degree and flaunting it on social media. So that's why I promote more school in the Black community. But what I don't promote is people trying to mask their hatred for Black men by trying to use these numbers against us, when the Black community as a whole should go to college at a higher rate. Black women are not the most enrolled. They're not the most educated. I got all the statistics on my community posts, all on my social media platforms. How do you figure that Black women will be the most enrolled when white women are the majority women in the United States? And the most graduated in regards to, whatever you want to look at, I broke these down, people per capita and all this foolery. So that doesn't even apply to Black women. But everybody in the Black community is still running with this goddamn narrative. It's not true, man. And you sitting there letting Black women go out to the world look ignorant when they cite this stuff on social media. I've seen it multiple times. You can uplift Black women by saying, yo, Black women are going to college at a higher rate. Leave it at that. But if you're going to bring in Black men, just say, hey, Black men don't go to college as much as Black women, but they still earn more money than Black women on average, which is why Black women dipped to 7th on the list of all the major racial categories. I just put out this information. Black women used to out-earn Hispanic men and Hispanic women. Now they only out-earn Hispanic women. Now Hispanic men have overtaken Black women's spot on that hierarchy list. Asian men, Asian women, white men, white women, Black men, Hispanic men, Black women, then Hispanic women. That's how it shakes out of all the 8 major groups by race and gender. So I know we like having these conversations about education. I understand it. But if those degrees aren't making Black women no money, then what's the point? Just to shame Black men? When every other race of men don't go to college as much as their female counterparts? Why is this even a thing? It's wild.
Yep. So I know that one was long. But y'all needed to see all of that. And the close out, that was Medium Man. Thank you, Medium Man. Like always, you always bring the best videos in this joint. You bring better videos than my content. And I just gotta say, this is the shit I'm talking about. So as you can see, the numbers are there. Most Black women don't have degrees. They may be the most enrolled, but y'all drop out because y'all have a lot of kids while you're in college. And yes, if you go back to college, it's because you already have kids. You need to make more money. So you'll do it. And that's fine. But most colleges in general, just to break this down, are outnumbered 60-40. There are more women in college than men in college. 60-40. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think most men have a problem with it. We like to see that. That means we can just, date more if the women aren't a pain in the ass. But the Black men have to deal with the problem. And then the other thing I want to bring up is every race of woman makes more degrees and have more degrees than their men, but yet for some reason only Black men are the ones getting singled the fuck out. Why are we the only ones getting singled the fuck out in this situation? White men have less degrees than white women. Asian men have less degrees than Asian women. Hispanic men have less degrees than Hispanic women. And Indian women, they have more degrees than their men. Yet every other race of women is still more married than our own to their men, who they all have more degrees than. So how is this even a problem? Y'all don't have a problem. Y'all have a luxury issue. It's not the fact that Black men are most of all disregarded when it comes to access to resources and everything else. And yet somehow we're still pulling through. We still end up in college. We still end up with trade degrees. We still end up with businesses. The Black community would be completely gone if Black men weren't still trying to keep this bitch afloat. Yet somehow there's no damn respect for those brothers. We're the only ones that get singled the fuck out when every race of women make more degrees than their men. We're the ones the topic of discussion. Black men don't go to college. Black men ain't got degrees. Black women got more degrees than Black men. But every other race of women do. And where the fuck is their disrespect? Where's their conversation? It ain't there. Ridiculous. And even if you do got more degrees than us, y'all still less married than us. In more debt than us. More kids out of wedlock than us. More kids than us, period. By multiple partners at that. So you kind of have to have those damn degrees because you got to juggle all that crap. So for one really great statistic, which I'm happy for y'all, we still make more money than you on average. But the fact that this topic had me heated all week, and I've been waiting to do this live. But yeah, Black men are the ones getting singled out. And again, all these Black girl magic and all this other bullshit that elevate you in academia, yeah, you have a more passable, much bigger pipeline to go to school than we do. Don't nobody really shout out the Black men like that. Because again, the government and the country do not view you as a threat. So yeah, they'll educate you. They'll put you in any position they can put you in. But the second they want to kick your ass out, they will do it with no hesitation. The only race of people who have this problem. The government does not view Black women as a threat. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. They don't. So yeah, they'll put you above us to keep using you against us. And y'all keep falling for it every single time. Kamala Harris would have had y'all acting a fool. I'm glad she lost that election. Seriously. Like it blows my mind on the Bash Black Men industrial complex. It's never late. Every week there's some new video, new topic, new thing going viral about how bad black men are. But wait, y'all still complaining about this. Why don't y'all just stop? But yes, black men are in college. We're actually more in college than we've ever been before. And every black man's just not going to go, especially the men y'all make kids with. Those guys will never go to college because they don't have any requirement. You don't have a requirement for them. So why would they go? Why would they go to college? They don't need to. You're going to give them the draws anyway. Life in the Ashleen B. Taylor, they done told y'all exactly what y'all needed to do. Y'all don't listen. Y'all don't care. But here we are. And this is up to black men too for being stupid enough to just be like, well, I got to go out to the streets to get my money. Oh, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. And ignoring the fact that every other race of men are running circles around you because they're going to get tangible resources and you're not even trying to get them anymore. Fast money creates slow problems. Let that shit sink in. Fast money creates slow problems. And it doesn't matter. But if you're just working behind whatever and then going out to do this, you're only going to make but so much in your lifetime. We have to start putting the resources that we force on our daughters into our sons so that our daughters will have something to build with. And maybe actually teach our kids how to problem solve, work on their emotions, learn how to critically think. These are things very much missing in the black community. There's a huge brain drain in the black community. So once we get these things figured out, and it's not going to be solved overnight, unfortunately. It's going to take about a generation or two to get this shit right. But the next generation are the ones who need to have this. I'm sorry, the new generation, we could probably see it if we grew the fuck up now and got it done. But unfortunately, we might not. It's going to take another 2 generations. By that point, I'll probably be like damn near my 60s. But I'm willing to do it. Like if I have kids, I don't know if I'm having kids, but if I were to have children, I'm definitely going to do this to my children. Instill values in them. Let them know their intelligence is everything wonderful. Let them know that you can go be a musician, but you don't have to be a rapper or an R&B artist. Like if you want to play the harp, or if you want to play the clarinet, please do. You want to play the violin? Beautiful. Piano? Excellent. But I'm not pushing athleticism on my kids. I might like have them learn karate, but that's just self-defense. So yeah, it's these things that we have to instill in our children. We got to get our culture to some kind of relevancy because our culture is a mess right now. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on the topic, man. I'm glad I got this out the way. Black men, you are doing fine. We can do better. We are going to keep doing better. And I'm proud of y'all. No matter what goes on out here, I'm proud of myself. And I never really say that. So yeah, if you made it this far, man, I'm glad you stuck with it. I'm glad you decided to continue to watch the video. I'm trying to get big. I'm trying to blow up. You know, help me get there. Please help me get there. We got to build a better community. This is the Black Intellectual. Y'all been with me here, hour 40 minutes, but I'm signing off, and I'll see y'all in the next one.